Hi everybody, this is Jackie from Jacqueline Ann Designs, and I wanted to come in and do my monthly floss tube. I'm not at home right now, I'm pet sitting. If you hear any critters in the background prancing around and making noise or sticking their nose in, you're going to know because there's several of them here. One second here. Um, anyway, let me turn my head a little bit. This will help me focus on the right part of the camera, I'm hoping. First of all, I'm going to show you some WIPs. Then I'm going to kind of intermingle in there any new starts. I've actually believe, if I've got this correct, only one. There might be another one that I didn't have started last time that we'll add in. So let's get that going. I tell you guys, we have had really wicked weather here in Amarillo today. It was scary wind, up to 100-mile-an-hour gusts, averaging 60 to 80 miles an hour at times. And then finally, I mean, lots and lots of wrecks out on the freeway. You know, Amarillo is, I don't live in Amarillo proper. I actually live out in the country. I was blessed to be pet sitting this weekend because they turned off the electricity out where I live due to fire risk. And there was a fire that ended up just right at a mile from our land. So that was, but my understanding is they got all that under control. I tell you, the first responders, it's like they knew this bad weather was coming and they got prepared. I cannot praise them enough, you know. They just are astounding. Buy them a coffee or something the next time you go by the fire station or whatever. I am telling you, they saw that the weather was coming. They know that this is a zone. Forever back in history, we have a history of getting rampant fires up here, because that's one of how the word originally, way back when, the city became Amarillo. It's yellow. This area up here is always yellow. It's always dry. We have farmland, but it's primarily there's other things farmed here as well, but an awful lot of it is food for animals and cattle and whatnot. So it's one of the best things that grows in this area. And they don't have like irrigation canals. They rely on rain and also some underground water irrigation, and that has to be replenished by the rain and the snow every winter. We can have some pretty heavy winters here. This year, not that heavy. We probably have not gotten the amount of snow that we needed to have gotten to get down in the ground into the water, you know, underground in the water wells and things that everybody has. So, I mean, out on our farm, we're water well dependent. And the other thing is when they have to turn out well, it's not a farm, it's just a piece of land, but we do have some chickens and a big garden and things like that out there. But they have to they turned off the electricity this time to try and prevent any help with fire prevention. And you know, you can't get upset about that because well, after all, the fire, you know, a lot of fires they're discovering are due to down power wires, problems that happen in the whole electrical systems. And so they told us ahead of time that might be happening. So I am a little bit worried about when I get home, what's going to happen with my refrigerator. Am I going to lose everything out of there? So we will see what happens. But as of tonight, the power still had not been turned back on over there. I just talked with my brother. So I'm grateful to have been over in town, actually, pet sitting, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, you can't do anything about it. So anyway, but yeah, we get really bad grass fires that just because there's nothing here to stop them. It's not that we have trees, it's just that we are all plains, and so it just sweeps right across. It's part of the natural order of things here, but the wind and the electrical wires getting blown down by the wind, that is not a natural part of the order of things here, and it causes a lot of fires. That and sometimes with lightning strikes, so or sparks from vehicles, things like that. But it's just so dry. So anyway, I'm going to first talk about things that I was going to get started this week. I didn't. I mean, over the past month, I didn't, and why I didn't. First one is I was going to do a small, I call them itty bitties, different things I'll call them. You leave me on here. But they're small projects, and I was going to do one Christmas small project a month, and I haven't done one yet. So, and that's just this month. Last month, I just kind of overwhelmed myself with too much to do. And for this month so far, I forgot about it earlier in the month, and I'm just going to wait until April. I just forgot it. That's all there is to it. I have everything for it. I just forgot to do it. The other thing I was going to do was get these bookmarks started. I think I'm going to end up doing these on linen, which I realize the pattern calls for Aida cloth on the inside, but on the outside here it says that it was done on 32 count. Well, I can't see to do 32 count, but I have some 28 count linen, and I'm going to try it on that linen, I think, instead, because I was going to use that linen for a sampler. The last time I was with y'all, I said that was going to be one of my starts, but the linen is not big enough. So I've got to wait until I can purchase some more linen, and I will not be starting the mystery sampler from that I told you about. Here's the mystery sampler. So I'm hoping to get it started for next month. And it's out of the magazine that went from New Zealand. The magazine was out of New Zealand that went out of business recently. And you could go on and download all of their magazines from their entire history for $28 and some change. So I did it. And one of the things that's in there is they have these fairly frequent, they'll always have several samplers going amongst a lot of other projects. But one of the things they have going in general, it seems like in the magazines, was a mystery quilt. And so this one is a 5-month project. So, and each month you get one section done a month, and then the next month. But the DMC linen, 28 count linen right here that I got for it. And I think this is the sable from the Carolina linen collection. I'm going to have to put it with the bookmarks instead. It's just not big enough. The pattern calls for 28 count, and this color would have been nice, I think. And I don't know why I thought it was going to fit. So that was a project that I did not get started. So when I put all my stuff away, that will be in with the bookmarks instead. And another one that I did not get started was this printed, but this is actually going to get started tomorrow. This is one of those, if you guys may remember, on Marketplace, I found a bunch of stamped cross stitch. You know, it's not counted cross stitch, it's a stamped Aida cloth canvas. And for $2 a set. And when I called up the lady and went by her house, and she said there wasn't anything wrong with them. She said she hadn't even opened most of them. A lot of them she had looked at, and others she hadn't even opened. But everything is in there. And she wanted $2 a piece for them. But she said she just got sick of cross stitching. She didn't want to do it anymore. So, and she had a bunch of them. I wish now I had gone ahead and gotten them, because she had a bunch of regular cross stitch with linen, where she had kitted them out herself. And she wanted quite a bit more for those, but it was just that I was trying to adhere to a budget. But it was the linen, the floss, and the patterns of those for about $10. So that would have been a great deal, and she was not trying to rip me off or anything. It just wasn't in the budget for me to do that at that time. So, but I do wish now that I had at least gotten a couple of them. But I bought several of these $2 ones from her, and we've kind of made friends since then. And what she ended up doing was she called me up one day and said, I put a bag outside of your door, so it was going to rain. She said, go out and pick it up before the rain gets here. And I said, oh, okay, are you out there? She said, no, I've already gone. She was going over somewhere to get her a soda and go home. I said, okay. So I went out there, and it was a bunch more of these kits, of these printed canvas kits. She's just trying to clear things out, so because she's moved on to another thing that she likes to do, and she doesn't really want to. She said it's hard on her eyes, and she was tired. She kept getting headaches, and so she's doing things that don't bother her eyes quite so much as cross stitching. So she's moved on, and I was the benefactor of that. So she left even more for free. So I'll be doing these for several years. I mean, because I'm not going to get them finished. But anyway, so this one, which is a floral, and this was one of the kits that did not have any kind of a picture other than these little tiny micro pictures. So I'm going to bring it up and show it to you. It's just a little floral. And it's going to be on 11 count, and it will be 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. So it's not really big. So it shouldn't take that long to do. I just started doing some other things instead of working on that one in particular. So those are some things I meant to get started this month, and I didn't. So that we'll be getting those caught up. Now, some of the things I've been working on, I'm going to show you my progress on my WIPs. This first one is a sampler. And you may remember this is one I got at a thrift store. So it's an all red project. And it is called Cherry ABC. It does not have the name of the actual designer anywhere on it, but it was called Design Works, the company, made in the USA. It might be, the name Ursula Michael is on here. So I'll bet you that is the designer, Ursula Michael. Owns the copyright for it, the pattern. But it's on 14 Aida cloth, and also just doesn't say the brand of the Aida cloth. So I've made a lot of mistakes on this one, and I wasn't going to fix it. I'm not going to, but now I'm going to go in and fix the one mistake anyway, because it's pretty brazen. But what I had been working on, and my goal this past week, was to finish up this top border right here. And if you're watching, you're going to see the mistake. There's several there, but there's one that's ultra dramatic, and everything is down a row. And but there's several mistakes. This is the one for sure that I'm going to go fix, and I'm considering this one too. And see how there's an extra cross stitch right there. I put in an extra stitch. So, and then you can see it got better as I progressed. But I did get that done. But as I said, I think at some point I'm going to go in and repair those two areas. So that is, I definitely made progress on that, and I'm really liking the project. It's really helping me with my stitches. So, and that's my goal after all, is to improve my stitching. Now this one is this is another stamped canvas. You can see it's called Copenhagen, and this is called a Joy Sunday cross stitch pattern. This is one of the, I don't remember if this was in the free lot or if it was one of the $2 ones. This one is on 14 count, done with 2 strands. And it's going to be big. When it's done, I haven't converted over to inches, but you can do that on Google if you'd like. It'll be 42 by 34 centimeters. So it's a little bit bigger than the other one. Let me take this off. And all I have done is right up here. Yeah. Part of the sky. I'm working on the sky right now. My plan of action is to go to like right about it here, but I may go ahead and go all the way to 110. Just because it depends on what's happening, if I've got my thread loaded with, my needle loaded with this thread, or what I need to do. But I love the idea of it being that cityscape, so I think it's going to be pretty. I know a lot of people have negative things to say about these stamped canvases, but for me, they are a way for me to try to get my stitching improved, and that is my goal for 2025, and also some budget issues that I've been having. So now this is one that I thought that I would be done with already, and this is on a 16 count Aida, and I've been having the dickens of a time with it. I can't hardly see it. So, but I am determined to finish it, and I'm going to order a set of those jeweler's glasses. And see if those help me with these vision issues that I'm having. Because I've been working on I said I wasn't going to start linen until I got my eyes fixed. But here I am. I've got one started, and then I'm thinking of starting another one. So, and I'm actually not finding it any harder. What I am having trouble with is certain colors on it. My eyes just don't want to see those colors, and my stitching is a little bit messy. I did a really light pink on one. Problems with that. So, but anyway, so I'm going to show you where I'm at. I have not made much progress at all on it. I've had to take things out several times and go back. But let me see here. This is the bottom. And so you can see, if you compare it to the picture, it's a little pin cushion. And if you compare it to the picture, I've got the green grass down here done, and I'm just starting on the bottom of the mound at the bottom of the Old Faithful. So, and the tree here, I was just having a lot of trouble with the tree, and that's why I've decided to get some of the other stitching done and go back to it. I think it'll be easier to count on it. I was having some difficulty counting on it. But you can see where I went up here and messed up on the tree and had to pull it all out. And it did a little bit of damage to the Aida cloth. And I didn't want that to happen. And this one is on a kit that I bought when I worked for the nonprofit at Yellowstone National Park. And it's a Made in the USA kit. They sell these in their gift shop, at least they did. I don't know if they're still there in the nonprofit. And it's an 18 count Charles Craft fabric from Posey, the Posey collection. The designer is Barbara Bankser. And somewhere along the way, I lost what, you know, how you get your graph, your pattern. But I lost the color chart, what thread goes where, what color. But it's pretty easy. The pattern is so small that it's pretty easy to tell what goes where. Just use your common sense and figure it out. So I'm going to keep working on it. It's just going slow. You know, taking it out, putting it back in. And I think that's why some of the other projects, I did so much of that on this one. I had to replace some of the thread out with some other out of my stash. You know, that kind of thing, and I just wasn't really happy with myself. And the other one that I haven't gotten very far on, but this one has been kind of on purpose, was this gold collection from Dimensions. It's the gold collection petites, and this one is called the Stacked Teacups. It is on 18 count Aida, and the design is by someone named Susan Wingett. 4 Dimensions. And I haven't got very much done. You're not going to really see much on it. I did get I was going to do the entire graph, but I just decided not to. But you can see I'm still working on the rims of the of the lower bottom 3 teacups. There's a total of 5 teacups, and I'm just now starting to stitch down into the bottom teacup. What I think my goal is going to be next is to get the teacup done and the saucer. There is a lot of confetti stitching. There's like fleur-de-lis designs and stuff all in the background here. So this is actually a lot more to this than I thought there was. So there's where I'm at with that one. Not much done on that one this past month at all, as you can see. Now the next one is another one of the stamped ones. This one is also by Joy Sunday. I'm going to tell you that when I'm done, I think I'm going to stitch another Starry Starry Night. I'm going to finish this one just because I don't want to leave it unfinished. But I'm going to tell you there's much prettier interpretations of the Van Gogh paintings and stuff out than this brand. I have no problem with this brand, Joy Sunday, but there's some much prettier, just prettier patterns, you know, out there. But nonetheless, let me show you where I'm at on mine. And this is a 11 count done with 3 strands. And there's a lot of black in it, as you can see. This is the corner that I'm working on now. And then I'll see a little area over in here, you know, and I'll go in and do that. But primarily I'm trying to work in this corner. And I'm just beginning to start working my way out from here. So I haven't done much on that. I don't know, you know, maybe I'm looking at it too critically. But I've got this black here, and you know, this fabric is white. And I'm using the called for amount of strands, and maybe it's because it's 11 count. You know, I'm new to all of this, and I don't know what'll show up when we get done, and I don't know how evident it is on the camera, but you can see a lot of white behind the black, and I don't really like that. So, I mean, it's very inexpensive, and as I said, it's a learning thing for me, but I'm not liking that, because I thought, well, did I not use the right amount of strands? What would I have done wrong to cause that? And it's said to use 3 strands, so I'm not really liking that, and can't say that. And I've heard a lot of people that do these pre-stamped kits like this particular Joy Sunday kits, but mine, I haven't been that happy, not unhappy with all of them. It's mainly this one. We'll put all these back in later. This one, I do have it started on. It's a floral, and this had no brand name on it. This was one of the ones that I got from the lady off Marketplace, and it's a floral. And I love florals, so I pulled it out. And I do believe that this one is 14 count. So I have been doing it with 2 strands, but I barely started, just right up in the one corner of it. Let's see. And it's going to be big. I don't have the centimeters for it, because it's got different signs here, but I think, oh, this says it might be 11 count. So I really don't know. Doesn't say, you know, it's, yeah, they have not done a very good job labeling things in here, but all I've done so far is this red rose. I've started on it right up here in this corner. I've discovered so far I like those to start in the left-hand sides. That's one thing I have learned by doing these kits, is that I like starting on the left-hand side. So anyway, there is that one. Okay, now other things, new starts that I had. The new start, I think that Copenhagen might have been a new start. I'm not sure. I've been working a lot on some other projects that I kind of sort of have a deadline on. I've been in classes for them. I'm going to move this over. Let's see. I've been in classes, and so I have not been spending as much time on, even though I've been stitching daily for several hours, I am very slow. And so, like I say, once I have my eye surgery done, I think that'll go a lot better. But now here's one I was not planning on starting. I had very good reason. I was waiting till I could buy the stuff I wanted to do this and my quilt all at the same time. And I couldn't really afford to buy the stuff for the quilt quite yet, or the other patterns. But it's the Lori Holt Hometown. And I'm going to do the Hometown quilt, which is houses is what it is. I have two of the cross stitch patterns also for the house. So she put it out. She put that quilt out in the quilt itself out in two different forms. You could do the applique form of the quilt, where you either hand appliqued the quilt or you quilted it on a machine. And she also has one out for people who use embroidery machines, which I don't have an embroidery machine. I've got a very nice machine that does a lot, but at the time I bought it, I just didn't think I would want to do embroidery. And I kind of go in and out whether I want to do machine embroidery or not. But I'm getting so into all this hand stitching that even though I'm really slow, I don't think I'll want to do machine embroidery because I'm enjoying this so much. We may find in the future I change my mind, but I think I'm going to enjoy the fact that my machine is designed to be a domestic sewing machine for quilting, and so it will quilt a top, since I primarily want to make smaller quilts. And so there are stitches on there for that, and they're very pretty. But I think for the most part, I'm enjoying handwork. And it's too bad I started enjoying handwork when my eyes start acting crazy. But the good thing about it is that my eyes are going to be able to be fixed. So no big deal. What it is I had cataract surgery. I guess one of them 5.5 years ago and the other one about 4 years ago. And I guess, I don't know what causes it, but they've got a lot of sediment on the lenses. And I need to go in and have that cleaned off with laser. And I'm waiting to get some other medical bills, copay bills paid off, and then I will go in and I will have that done. So that's what's going on with my eyes. And I wear glasses, but they're just not any good right now. They don't do anything. So I'm not driving at night. It's I can drive, so you have to be safe no matter what's going on. But anyway, so I just decided to go ahead and start, even though I had vowed I wasn't going to do linens and all of that. I had decided to go ahead and start the Lori Holt okay. But I decided I'm just going to go for it. Yeah, I haven't gotten all the fabric yet to do the quilt, but I will. It'll be a really cute scrappy quilt, and I think that's what I'm going to do. And I have a lot of really cute fat quarters, so I'm gradually getting the fabrics together for that quilt. But anyway, so it's the hometown neighborhood, and she's also got a hometown holidays. But this is the hometown neighborhood, and the quilt, the houses look just like this, only they're parts of them are pieced and parts of them, it's primarily an applique quilt, but there are parts of it that aren't, and then there, and then this is the cross stitch version of, and it's not for quilting. I guess you could, if you wanted to, put it in a quilt, but really it's it's for putting on the wall. And I like the houses so much in it that I don't do everything that Lori Holt puts out. I know she's got quite a following and people will do just about everything that she does. But I admit that I love a lot of the stuff that she does, but at the same time, but there's things I love that everybody does. So I'm not going to be spending all my time doing her quilts, but I love these houses. And I also have a scarecrow that's one of my quilt whips that I'm going to finish up once fall gets here. But anyway, so this is the hometown neighborhood, and this is the tea house. I think it's a series of 12 different patterns, and they're pretty good size when you get done. This is on her. I went ahead because it was about the same price as all the other fabrics. I did the 25 count even weave, and it says that it's an even weave Laguna, and it's part of Lori Holt's collection with Zweigart and through Riley Blake Fabrics. They kind of have, I don't know if they're one in the same company or if they just did a coordinated effort for this, because she does just about all of her fabric through Riley Blake's Fabrics. And so this is her, it's Zweigart color number 253. So, and she calls it farmhouse. I don't know if it's underneath other designers and they call it something different, but it's basically kind of a tea dyed or a color. It doesn't have any variation to it. It's all one color, like, it doesn't look tea stained. It's just kind of that color maybe. And she calls it farmhouse, and I barely started on it. But once again, the pattern, I can't show it to you, but basically the pattern, it's really nice and colorful and clear to see, but it's divided into two parts, two pages, and the first page is the top half and the second page is the bottom half, and it actually divides the door of the cottage right in half. And I started in the center on this one, and I've got the upper part of the door done. That's all I got done right now. But I'm about to do the frame of the door and then start in on the house and, just finish up the house and work my way up for the front page. And then once I'm done with that, I'll do the bottom page. So you can see it's going to be a good size. It'll end up, as I said, being a 9 inches, the actual finished piece, 9 inches by 13.75. So here it is, and I am sorry the lighting in here is so bad. I did not tote my little camera light and all that with me over here. And not all of these lights, I can't figure out where the light switches are for them all, so they're not all on. And it's almost midnight, so that's why. But anyway, so what can I say about my stitching here? I feel like on this dark pink and the dark color, my stitching is fine. But when I started trying to do this light pink here in the door frame, in the door, I couldn't hardly see it. Now it could be when I get home and I'm underneath my aught light and all of that it's going to go better. But I'm probably I'm going to be here for 2.5 more days, close to 3. So Saturday, Sunday, no, just two full more days. And so I probably won't work on this. I'll probably work on something that my eyes work a little bit better on, and I'll work on this later on. Put it away for a few days, but I'm really liking it. So I did not think I would like working on the linen. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think I would. So, I realize that other people have like 50 in theirs, 50 WIPs and all of that. I've been thinking about it, and I think my goal is going to be to kind of try to have about 9 projects, cross-stitch projects going. Because there are some other things I like to do other than cross-stitch. And one is slow stitching and in regular embroidery. And the other one is quilting. And I like to do regular quilting, which I'm a beginner at, and I like to do applique hand quilting, where you do all of it by hand, because I like more and more into hand stitching, as I said. And then I like to do collage quilting, so art quilts, and I'm working on one of those right now. So cross stitch is part of my life that I'm really enjoying, and I'm sorry that my stitches aren't as pretty as everybody else's, but they will be. I am, after all, even though I cross-stitched many years ago, I never advanced beyond the beginning level. And since it had been so many years since I had cross-stitch, it's virtually like I'm starting over. I don't remember ever hearing all the terms people use. So, well, anyway, everybody, that's kind of where I'm at right now on my WIPs and works in progress. And I'll make sure I get these other things started this month, but I'm going to try not to go over 9 projects. I have several really huge projects that I want to get done. I'm kind of thinking that once one of these larger projects here is done, and I bet you by then I've got my eyes taken care of, I want to get a frame to hold it, and I want to start on some of the big art pieces of cross stitch that I have. And every one of them are going to be something that probably like a year, not longer, to do. So they're really big. So at least the way I'm looking at them, I know there's a couple people that I've seen on YouTube going through these things like nothing. You know, although I will say I've never seen their pieces finished, so maybe they're not. Maybe they're in their WIP stack and they just needed a break from them and they've moved on. I don't know. But anyway, but I'm going to go for 9. 7 to work on. One every night of the week I'll work on a different one so I don't get burnt out. And then I'm going to have 2 kind of random ones, and when one of the 7 gets done, it bumps up. And it may be 10. Oh, Lordy me, but it may be 10 projects because I want to have a itty bitty. But actually, I think one of those 9 will be itty bitties or littles. And instead of taking from my big stack of big projects, I'll start on another little. That's what I'll do, because I really feel kind of overwhelmed having this many. And as you can see, I don't have near as many as a lot of people do. So, I mean, to my mind, the way my mind works, it's just kind of overwhelming to have this many projects that I have going now. I have 2 slow stitching projects, a big, and they're not big because there's no time frame on them, but 2 different where I'm trying to improve my embroidery stitches in 2025. I have 2 big 2 books, embroidery stitch books that I'm working on. One is for a stitch along, and the other one was one I was already working on. So, and multiple quilts. So, and I get so overwhelmed by it all that I don't get very far on anything. So I'm going to have to put limits to how many WIPs I have, and because there's some other projects that I want to do as well. So that and I'm not going to bring them up now because they don't have anything to do with floss tube, but so I've got to, there's got to be certain limits on things for me, or my mind just can't handle it. So I don't know how people handle having, there was one lady, I saw her floss tube the other day, and she had 82 WIPs, and I was just like, I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she can psychologically handle it. I was just like, I don't know how she can do it. It's not that I'm a monogamous stitcher, but I'm very close to it. I mean, I could very easily just take this red sampler here and finish it and then go on to the next one. So, and who knows, I may end up doing that. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But that tendency is in me. I can tell you I've already identified it. Love y'all, and we'll see you on the next floss tube. Right now, I'm aiming for a minimum of once a month, but I'm hoping to do 2 a month, especially once they're starting to show more progress. There'll be 2 a month. You guys have a lovely rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.